just saying, just have something there that can, anything that you know that is not stable. So you're buying your drip beer, you get to a point where you spent too much and now you can't go to work the next day. You need money there to at least cover you to go to work.
Yeah,
you get what I mean?
It's mad.
So if you can't do that, then I'm telling you, please listen and change your ways.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next one because we've gone quite deep in.
Yeah.
Let's get into health and wellness.
Let's go.
So we're gonna start with mental health. First question: is this? Oh wow. Yeah. Is this generation fragile or are our mental health concerns actually valid?
This generation's fucked.
You know what, yeah?
Hey,
when you say
man,
fucked, we said
come
fragile
on.
now.
No,
look, and be careful because people are very fragile now.
No, yeah, that's it.
Let me be honest. Let me be honest. Let me be honest. Because I sat down and thought about this, yeah, and I've seen a lot of people, like all of these psychologists and all that kind of stuff, say that the generation is probably the most let me just put it plainly, fragile, right? And I have thought about it, and the reason why I thought about it is because I feel like a lot of people talk about their issues, and I know that everyone's issues is something that they can go through, and everyone's got their own threshold for whatever they can take. But it has got to a point where I'm thinking, like, a lot of these things here that you're saying are problems, such as, oh yeah, I'm tired of going to work. And remember there was a point where everyone was burnt out for a period, and it's like, okay, cool, I understood. I could understand that burnout was a big thing during that time here, but I really feel like it got to a point where a lot of this was brought on by ourselves at the same time. Once we got let free from COVID, and we were allowed to go out and do that stuff, everyone was working, and once you finished working, you were out. Of course you're going to get burnt out during that period. And this is the thing, a lot of people are talking about that time, and I know they're saying mental health this, and think about your mental health, but a lot of this stuff that you're saying is mental health could be dealt with by you just changing your lifestyle. And that's how I felt at that time.
It's a bit different. Mental health it's a mental thing. It's not a physical thing.
It is a mental thing. But in terms of that period when I was saying that everyone was talking about burnout, and it's like, you're going out the next day and you're going to work. Of course you're going to be burnt out.
Do you know what? In regards to this generation being very fragile, I definitely agree. I wouldn't say it's because of that. I feel like, especially this generation,
politically correctness?
No. Millennials, and I'm gonna hit the millennials and the other generations after that. There are certain things that have been put in place here that have really impacted our generation.
Right.
Social media.
Okay.
Social media has finished the game completely, in a sense that mentally we actually live on social media, and social media says what is right and what is wrong. That's what people take as the Bible oath. So when you see someone doing whatever they're doing and you're not doing good enough, depression. When you see someone that's doing better than you, depression, sadness, all of that type of stuff, it impacts you. And the thing is, a lot of us didn't understand this until lockdown. And then when lockdown came, it unpacked a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what was that thing that happened back in the day? You know, the depression, and then there was like the
Great Depression.
Yeah. That's what I think COVID did.
COVID shook up a lot of people for sure, because it not only made you sit down and think about your own life at the time, and the fact that with everything else not being around and everything on the hustle and bustle of life not being anymore, this is your life. This is what it said to you. This is your life. Are you happy with it?
It was a wake up call.
Exactly. But as I'm saying, I'm not disputing the fact that mental health is a big thing. I'm not saying when it comes to depression and stuff like that. I'm talking specifically about the time when burnout was a big thing, and I'm gonna say for me personally, I talked about burnout during that time, but I was one of those people where it was like, I've got to be out every other week, and we were literally out every weekend, back up in the morning for work, and then back out again in the evening. But I feel like a lot of that was caused by lifestyle.
Yeah, but I don't think burnout is the reason why we're fragile. The reason why
it is because back in the days, Dad used to go out every day, come back in the morning, but 6 a.m.
But this is what I'm saying.
Take us to work. To school, sorry.
Yeah, no, I get that. And that's what a lot of people still do to this day. But when Dad was out and about, Dad didn't have social media to look at. When we're talking about people being fragile, we're not talking about you going out. I'm talking about from a mental perspective.
And can I just say as well, is that we're saying that it's as if we're trying to basically imply that burnout and some of these other like mental struggles that we deal with now didn't exist back in the day, and they did. Like, you gave the example of your dad running around and being able to do all these things, and maybe he was burnt out and you don't know about it.
True.
Or maybe he's burnt out, and I think the difference between our previous generation and now, I don't even think is like these the things that we're dealing with now only just came into existence. I think that there are more outlets, social media, that will allow us to speak about it. People are more vocal.
visible.
It's like when we talk about like people that are like queer. It's not that gay people didn't exist 50 years ago. It's just there are a lot more people speaking about it now. Same with racism when that was happening, and same with a lot of other things. So I just think nowadays people are just being a lot more vocal about the things that affect them. And also as well, social media is huge. That's a really big factor as to why people struggle. That's one major thing. And another thing as well is that as children of immigrants, I saw a post the other day, and I've never related more. It basically said that as children of immigrants, we constantly feel like we're in survival mode all the time.
Why?
Because the idea of my parents have done this, I've got to go hard and do this.
Okay.
Otherwise, I have failed. And that's a constant feeling that a lot of us have in the back of our mind. I can speak to that.
Yeah.
I can speak to based on like our family dynamics. You feel like you need, there's a level of pressure. Granted, it's not to say that our parents didn't struggle from these things, but the idea that we'll do like comparative struggle. I'm feeling pain now. I don't care what other generations are doing. If I'm fragile, fine. But this is what I'm going through. Like, that's it. That's all that matters to me, is the fact that it's happening. So we've got social media as a factor. We've got like family dynamics as a factor. Trauma is real. Trauma didn't get spoken about before. Niggas was just jumping off buildings and we didn't really know why. We're just calling it the Great Depression because of the Wall Street. But there were so many things that were happening that we just didn't get a look in on. So I think that there are, somewhere in the midst of everyone being open and vocal about mental health, there are people who kind of self-diagnose themselves by tweets that they see, and you've got people like that kind of, but that shouldn't change the reality that people are really, really struggling. Like, I know, like, one of my closest friends only just got diagnosed for ADHD now as an adult. Wow. Is only just being looked for like autism and being on the spectrum, because back in the day when people are supposed to be getting tested for it, it just wasn't available. Yeah. So I think maybe we are more fragile. I don't know. Maybe we are more spoiled. I'm not sure, but the way of living has changed. This pandemic is new. Being isolated for that long is new. It's hard.
I feel like there's so many different things that actually I can't say that, because every generation had their own thing that impacted them. So I can't say that. We just had our own version of what impacted us. Next question. Do you not want the perfect body, or are you just being lazy as fuck? So
this is a very interesting question.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What I'm asking is, if you're not going to the gym or doing some sort of fitness, or looking hench, slim,
which is basically
toned,
the thing, right?
Yes. Are you being lazy? Now, I want to get your thoughts on this.
I think that I'm a really good example for this question because I have struggled with my body for a really, really long time.
Right.
In the fact that, aside from having body dysmorphia, which is a whole nother
I'm not gonna lie,
discussion.
I didn't realize this was a thing.
Now
I know
it's a big thing.
Body dysmorphia is nuts. Is the idea?
You don't.
What's that?
But I'm just saying, he doesn't have the issue of body dysmorphia. You don't walk into a shop and you see something, it's like, oh, you end up buying like 2 sizes too big because you're thinking that you're huge. You get it now, it's a parachute.
Yeah.
No,
you don't have that.
I don't think I do.
It's a weird, for me, the way that my body dysmorphia manifests itself is that I am so sure that I look humongous when I don't. And then I'll hate how I feel the whole time. Yeah. And then 6 months later, I'll look back at the pictures and I'll be like, I wish I didn't give myself such a hard time because I look great. I look fine. I still don't know what my body looks like. I can't tell you.
What does that mean?
No,
It
Toby.
sounds ridiculous.
Toby.
I genuinely can't. So what I used to do back in the day, I used to point out girls' body and I'd be like, do I look like that? Michael would be like, no, cuz that's not what you look like. I'd be like, do I look like that? I genuinely couldn't tell you what my body looks like. I couldn't tell you. I just don't. Anyway, that's a whole.
You yourself in the mirror before.
Yes, but what I look like in the mirror versus what I look like in pictures versus when I look down and I see myself, they're not the same thing.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? What do you think is causing that though?
I think it's a mix between what I felt maybe once, what I've been told, and insecurities in the midst of things. So like, let's say I look at myself and I feel like I look big, but when I was younger, everyone used to laugh at me and call me skinny, right? Everybody, yeah? And so then I grew up and then people started telling me conflicting things, so I didn't know what to believe.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, like, you know when you go into a changing room mirror and it's very humbling,
Yeah.
and then you go back home and you look in your mirror and you look really nice,
Yeah.
and then you take a picture of yourself and you look completely different.
The carnival mirror.
I don't know which one is which. I still don't know. I genuinely don't. It's mad.
Bro.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about here. But with struggling with this body dysmorphia and like the feeling of like not ever really liking what your body looks like, I felt like if I didn't want to go to the gym, then that means I'm just complaining aimlessly. I don't actually want a better life, right? But then somewhere along the way, I realized that whatever the perfect body is something that I don't necessarily want. The perfect body, in my opinion, for women of a similar demographic to me is big bum, slim waist. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's what society told you.
Yeah, like big bottom half, slim in the waist, whatever. Boobs or whatever, right? Because I've never had a big bum, I was like, right, if I don't go to the gym, then I hate myself.
Yeah.
And people will say, oh, okay, so you have the potential to have a big bum if you just work out. So I feel like, oh, the thing that is stopping me from moving to the next stage of my life is going to the gym. And I don't want to go to the gym, so I must hate myself. So that was the struggle that I had. Ultimately, somewhere along the line, I need water.
Damn.
I think I'm fine now. Somewhere along the line,
COVID.
you know when you feel COVID? No,
God forbid.
Yeah.
It's a COVID.
Yeah, it's a COVID.
It's a COVID.
Somewhere along the line, I had to say to myself that I have to do what works for me, and whatever works for me is what the perfect body is. It's
That's
not
it.
what
That is.
it's not trying to attain whatever the perfect body is. What works for me is what is perfect.
I think that's a very good way of running that off. Really,
Sorry, guys.
I think the whole idea of the perfect body is something that's been around for a long time, and it's changed over time in terms of what people see as a perfect body. I think it's changed a lot more for women as opposed to men.
Yeah,
men it's always been the
rock hard abs,
the xylophone abs,
big pecs,
ting, 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 ting,
you know the xylophone, ding ding ding.
There you go. So
at one point it was having thick legs.
Yeah, but I don't think guys go for it as much. Well, I can't say that. There's some guys that might go for it, but I just don't think guys go for it as much as like I need to have the perfect body.
Do you know the reason why?
Why?
Let me tell you the reason why.
Because we all got dad bods.
Nope, it's not even that. No, I don't have a dad bod. But the reason why, and it's a society thing as well, is that a guy doesn't need to look hench or good looking for him to attract a good woman.
Yep.
He just needs to have money. That's what society's always done.
Yeah, we're speaking to typical straight
so
couples.
You could be good. You could be good looking, have no money, and yes, you'll be attractive. But once someone knows that you don't have no money and you're broke and you can't take me anywhere, they leave you to the wayside.
Yeah.
Then there's someone that is a millionaire, good money. He's driving wherever he wants, driving the Rolls Royce and all that, has a nice house, but money's patent. He can take you over, buy Birkin and all that type of stuff. Yeah. He's now very attractive.
You know what? Yeah, another conversation just popped into my head that we've had already, but I'm not going to bring it up again, really, truly.
Yeah.
But do you think that's the same thing? Like, that's the guy version of what women go through?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
It is, but
I distinctly remember you say that it definitely wasn't. So
no. But what I'm saying is that it is, but it is. I can't be a liar and say that it's not that. But, no, not quite. I think the point is that even though that is the case, you man are to blame, so I don't care. That's my thing. That's my thing. It doesn't matter. These are things that have been enforced by patriarchy, so I don't give a damn about how you feel. Really? That's the truth. I don't care. This is something that you forced on yourself. You man wanted to be providers and leave us at home. So, in that case, stick to the plan. It's sad. It's sad. Bad.
But
you know, tough tits, man.
In this day and age as well, you're all asking for equal pay. So...
Absolutely.
Don't do that.
Absolutely, I'm asking for equal pay.
Please don't do that.
You deserve it.
No. Absolutely, I deserve equal pay.
Anyway, going back.
You don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there.
Yeah, that's our promise.
So basically, for men, it is you have money, you look more attractive.
Yeah.
For women, you look attractive, you don't need to have no money. I'm going to bag you, I'm going to kick you out, and you're fine. So that's where we don't really need to. That's why I feel like
that's not necessarily something that men deal with.
That's it. So I feel like our battles are a bit different, and like Kesi said, because of society, we're the ones that have done it to ourselves.
Yeah.
But in regards to this, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even there's been many times you ask me why don't I go to the gym anymore, mate?
I don't ask you why do you go to the gym. Everyone else asks. I don't care.
Yeah, everyone else. Okay, so everyone asks Tobi why do I not come to the gym anymore? And I feel like I've just got to the point, and I don't think I've even told you, but I just find the gym now very boring.
That's fair.
Very boring in the sense that I've done the 10 seasons like what's his name? What's that producer? 10 Summers. I've done 10 Summers
DJ
like DJ Mustard.
Yeah.
I've already done it. I feel like I've actually gone through getting abs, getting the big chest and all that. But what I'm trying to
I've got the abs. I've got the legs. I've done the squats. I've done the deadlifts. I paid my dues.
I'm lifting it.
I paid my dues.
What I'm trying to say is that there was one time, let me tell you something here. When I got the mirror, there was one time I was looking in the mirror butt naked. I was looking in the mirror butt naked, and I went to myself, Michael, I'm happy with the way you are.
Yeah, you got to do that sometimes.
I'm happy with it.
Actually, no, yeah, do that. I recommend it for everyone.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta look at
I be taking my pictures of myself in the mirror in the morning.
You do every day.
Yeah, and then I drink water and then the belly comes back. So,
But wait,
do you know what I mean? This is what I mean. I don't know what is real.
Do you know what her issue is, yeah?
What?
She would drink water, and say, damn, my body's changed. It's because you put something in your body. Of course
No, but you don't understand. Why should a drink of water make me look 6 months pregnant?
What do you mean?
So how am I supposed to know what I look like?
You know water.
What's my true body? Post water or pre water?
Both.
No, they don't look the same.
Oh my! So you feel someone that has abs, just stays having abs.
Shall I tell you something? Shall I tell you what a lot of these people do when they suck it back?
Yeah,
It's still the same body,
look,
right?
we're not having this conversation.
But it's still the same body.
We need to move on spirituality.
I'm gonna say everyone,
time.
everyone. I'm telling you right now.
One thing I will
go to your
say-
mirror and look at yourself butt naked.
Yeah,
Do it.
and slap your cheeks.
Yeah, bow.
Both of them.
Yeah,
But before you go, one thing I will say though is that just because you don't want to attain the perfect body, and that's fine, it does not mean that you can negate health.
yeah.
That is
for
where
sure.
I've been going
Yeah,
wrong.
Definitely not.
Somewhere along the line, I said, fuck this. I don't want to
you
attain the
said the
perfect body. But I forgot that I actually need to walk because I can't breathe. So it's really important for you to find a way to be healthy. Like,
find
just
your
because you don't
own
want to
way.
go to the gym doesn't mean that you have to stay still. Trust me, you don't want to
still.
be me because I've got back pain. So
But one question I want to ask before you move into spirituality.
speed.
That's the really good.
Yeah.
Is therapy the newest trend, or do you need to sort your life out?
Rotted.
I think that goes back to what we were saying about having fragile, being fragile or having valid mental health concerns.
Yeah.
And I feel like therapy, one thing I will say, therapy does not work for everybody. Or even if it does work for everybody, sometimes that's not what you need at that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
People have trauma that they need to unpack at a particular time.
Yeah.
It's not good for you to just say, shit is traumatic, let me go and just unpack everything.
Yeah.
I thought that was the point of therapy, though.
It is, but like if you don't have, imagine you saying to yourself, you want to jump from a cliff and it's freeing and it feels good and it teaches you how to be brave, but you don't have a parachute and you have no way to get down. Okay,
Lord, that's
what
a
good is
really
your
good
bravery
analogy.
if you're dead?
Do you know what?
Rotted.
Sorry, that's a good analogy.
Thank you.
What I would say to that, is that it's like what Kesi's saying is that you have different points in your life where cool you can go therapy or you can't go therapy or whatever. But I feel like as a person as well, I feel like as individuals we need to go through the process of even I would say like understanding who you are as a person. Not saying that you can't go to a therapist and do that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones I don't even want to be
Just let it rule.
Yeah, I don't even want to be in that position, where every time I have something, I have to go to
Run
speak to someone
Yeah.
to do that. I feel like that's where, in some way, don't hate me, but I feel like that's where we become fragile in the sense that, okay, this is the issue. Let me go. I'm not saying don't speak to someone. I'm saying that sometimes try and unpack things yourself because it makes you more confident, makes you stronger.
Yeah.
And I feel like now that these things, they've always been there, but now that, okay,
it's becoming a thing
it's
where
now
everyone's saying, Bill, this is what I'm saying from the beginning, even with the whole investment thing, I feel like people, we have got to a point where, I know we have got the internet and we've got everything that can help us find information easy, but just like when you went to school, it's not just as simple as opening the book and closing it and saying, I'm ready for the exam. Some things you actually need to go through and work through it and
100%.
learn from that. And this is with this therapy situation. I feel like a lot of people are recommending therapy for everything. And it's like some things, as you said, therapy is not always what you need at that time. And some things don't work with therapy. Sometimes, you actually need to look yourself in the mirror and say, you're being a fucking dickhead. Sort your life out.
But then this is the thing. That's
Without
where it
being
gets
rude.
Yeah, but that's even where it gets tough because there are some things that we unpack. Like, I've got you guys are my support system. Yeah, if I ever need to talk to you guys about anything, I can do. Right? Not everybody has a support system,
I hear
and
it.
so there are a lot of people that, based on like their mental health, they might Like, people with anxiety don't talk about their issues.
Yeah.
People that have certain mental health issues don't talk about anything.
Yeah.
They're not able to reflect, and they're not able to have those conversations, whether it's with themselves or people around them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They need therapy, and they won't know that they need therapy until someone says you need therapy.
No,
for
So
sure.
I think we are speaking from a place of privilege in the sense that
100%.
we have got good relationships around us that enable us to kind of be reflective and whatever. But I don't think it's fair enough to say sometimes you just kind of need to just like run it yourself.
Yeah.
But I do hear what you're saying. My main thing is that as it relates to getting therapy, I'm not speaking about that part. I'm speaking about the fact of therapy is really hard, and it asks you questions that takes you back to address traumatic periods. So it's not for you to just go in it like you're just going to Tesco. Like, it's serious. It requires reflection. You need to be ready to do it. It's not just like going to the gym and somehow getting into it. Like, you actually have to be ready to
unpack.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I don't feel like it's a go-to thing, and it's not as light as Twitter and the streets want to make it. It's not a small thing. It's very heavy.
Yeah.
And it requires a lot of work.
I think once again, but everyone's life is variable, and I'm not disputing anything you're saying, Kesi. I feel like there is certain people that do have to go through exactly what Kesi is saying, but once again, there's also certain people, and we're all talking from everyone's perspective, but there's also certain people where you actually have to just like say, I can deal with this myself, and I need to find a way to do it. No one else is going to help me, and I'm not saying that that's everyone. I completely agree. It's not everyone. I've had to do it myself before too. There's some things in my life that I've had to say, like, look, really and truly, no one's going to help you get out of this.
Yeah.
You're the only one that can help yourself. So you've got to do it.
Yeah. And like Kesi said, we are lucky that we got people around us that we can talk to, because, I'm not going to lie, like, it helps.
Yeah, let's go
Anyway,
to Heavenly Father.
we're going to go to spirituality. Now, first thing on the list
Stick with us, guys. Stick with us.
how important is
Don't leave.
going to church as a Christian? Now, I'm going to start off here. Okay. Going to church as a Christian, I feel like if you're in the right environment and the right church, it can be a great thing.
Before you continue, yes or no? Is it important?
Is it important?
How important is it out of 10?
How important?
How important? I would give it an 8 or a 9.
Kesi?
It's a 10.
I think it's a 10.
Yeah.
I think it's a 10.
It's a 10.
Sure.
It's imperative.
Yeah.
It's actually imperative.
And the reason why I'll say it's a 10 is because I've got two perspectives of when I wasn't going to church in my life and when I was going to church.
You've been going to church every single time.
I didn't go to church when I was in uni.
Lord.
There you go then.
I didn't as well.
So
tried to.
I know what the uni was like. So it's like uni, but then again, I'm not even.
But was you ready to go to church in uni?
It's not that I wasn't ready to go to church, because if I went home, I'll go to church. I just didn't want to go and find a church.
No.
Okay,
Was you
so
ready
let's
to
get
go?
to the question.
Okay. So how important is it? Yep, it's quite important. The reason why I say it's quite important is because there's so many things. You have people around you that will help you. Similar to like what we were talking about earlier on, a support system there. I feel like going to church actually has you in a place where you actually have to, like, it's me and God here in this place. And
Well, that's if you look at it that way, because a lot of people don't look at church that way. A lot of people go to church and they don't look at it as this is the time for me and God to actually be in a situation, listening to the word. I'm expecting to get an experience with God. Praise and worship. I'm expecting to have an experience with God. Some people actually just go to church to see their friends. So it's not for everyone.
But we're talking about how important is going to church as a Christian in relate.
Are they not Christians?
With the context that you're going to church for the right reasons.
Okay,
Obviously.
if that's the case, then 100% is important for your walk
There's
to
no
grow.
more there.
For your you've checked this twice. For you to be able to grow, then you need to go to church personally.
yeah, 100%.
And here's another question: did you guys feel like the online church actually helped you during that COVID period, or do you think it was a terrible time for you?
I think it did. I feel like if there wasn't some outlet, yeah, man, I wouldn't be going to church. I think my spirituality would have declined severely.
Yeah.
Even though, okay, cool, you did have the video conferences, and there'll be the time where you're listening to church, but you're also frying an egg in the kitchen.
For sure.
But at least there'll be glimpses of, okay, you heard that.
Not for
Or
me.
you heard this. What, really?
Not for me, no.
You didn't think it helped?
It doesn't work for me. It
Yeah.
doesn't work for me. I feel like
Really?
me being on my laptop watching church means that it's a distraction for me. It just doesn't work for me. For me personally.
Yeah.
It just didn't. The whole COVID period for me and church was mad until I read Revelations twice. And I woke
and
up
he saw
and I
the
was like,
24-eye angel. And he said,
I said the one that's gonna be up there.
I can't
do not
go
be
here.
afraid.
Yeah.
I am afraid.
Fear not. Yeah.
I'm going to church today.
Sigh.
Yeah. I feel like it's imperative for you to go to church. I feel like it's impossible for you to lean on your own understanding as it relates to God. It is so important. What did they say? Iron sharpeneth iron.
Yeah.
You can't do this God thing on your own.
No.
That's a fact. You can't. You need a shepherd.
Rose.
You need one. That is imperative.
Even your pastor has a
Yeah.
shepherd.
Yeah. You need a
Stand.
shepherd. You absolutely need a shepherd. There are no sermons from whether it's Hillsong or whatever. There's no place that you can collect fellowship and the equivalent or substitute of church. You have to go to church, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where I feel like people go wrong is that there is a level of pressure about being present. That means that, okay, I have to be there, and because I'm there, that means I've done my bidding. I've done my time.
Yeah.
I've done my time. I paid my dues. I've done what I need to do.
That's it for
And
God,
that's
it's for
where,
the rest of the
and that's where you miss it. And then you've got people that, like, especially when it comes to smaller churches, you've got the pressure of, okay, well, I feel like I need to turn up because XYZ, or I feel like I have to be there,
exactly.
or my pastor's gonna call me and say, why didn't you come, or whatever, because these things happen all the time.
What happened?
Me, I'm a pastor's daughter, so I don't feel like there's anywhere I'm allowed to run.
Trust me.
And that in itself comes with its own.
Son, but I don't feel it's
But you gotta make it to heaven.
Gotta
Made it
be.
to hell. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like that pressure is very existent for me,
mate.
and that is what makes church difficult for me. Sometimes I'll be real. I say this all the time. Like, I find church really difficult because there are pressures outside of God that keep me there. And if I had a choice, I don't know if I would.
See, a lot of people
But
see that
do
as
you
being
think-
rebellious.
Yeah, but do you think that's a good thing? Do you think
What
It was-
what they're trying to do to say you should be in church and you've got all these responsibilities, is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Because I question that all the time.
Yeah, I think there's a way. I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, because if your pastor sees something in you and there is a way that you can serve the church and ultimately serve God, then it's blessings. But there is a pressure around keeping to these things and how you respond if someone's capacity does not align with your expectation of what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And then that's when it turns into something that is political rather than something that has anything to do with serving God.
hear it.
And that's where I feel like people have missed the mark and driven people outside of the church.
100%. Now, I want to ask you guys a question because we live in a world, this is the secular world that we live in.
Yeah, we live.
West-
What do they
West
say when
world.
you live in
West
the
and
world but not
Well,
of the world?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And in this world, there's paraphernalia, there's drugs, there's crack cocaine, there's people sticking needles in
Crack
themselves.
cocaine?
There's alcohol.
Wait,
There's alcohol.
there's classes to this, please. Can we
Look.
stick to a certain class?
No, people take coke in church.
We're talking heroin.
Not in church.
People take coke in church.
No,
though.
not in my church.
Yep.
No
There
way.
look, the
Snip,
disciples.
snip, nigga.
There was a tax collector. There was a drug dealer.
What?
A drug dealer.
dealer.
I promise you.
There was a
No
drug dealer. There was no
Oh,
drug
it's
dealer.
There was
no drug dealer.
Well, we don't know what they were taking.
There was a fisherman.
You never.
We couldn't.
And
do it.
what was in that fish?
Oh
Anyway.
Lord, Pax.
Pablo. Anyway, jokes aside, obviously we live in a world where there's drugs, there's guns, there's partying, there's all these different type of stuff. Now,
let's once again stick to a certain. There's
Okay.
crime.
All right, okay, yeah.
There's serious crime, and there's what everyone else is doing.
Live life, man. Enjoyment, drinking.
you know what I'm saying.
I don't
anyway.
think guns
But
and these drugs is living life.
Drinking, smoking,
Is
all
it
that.
possible?
Tattoos.
Is it possible for you to be a child of God? Is it possible for you to be a child of God
gosh.
and still be able to enjoy life?
Yeah.
And no, but because someone's gonna say you can enjoy life sober. Focus. We're talking about. We're
The
talking
life
about
that you know what we're talking about.
enjoyment, getting drunk, smoking, drugs.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Whatever.
Whoever says that here and responds, if I see a comment, I'm turning that person to a cyclops.
I'm deleting the comment, and I'm deleting you for good.
No, I mean, I feel like I feel like you definitely can. I think this whole idea of you have to be a hermit or a nun, whilst being a Christian, is the biggest lie since the beginning of time. I feel like everyone knows that you're allowed to go to party. Everyone knows that you're allowed to genuinely enjoy yourself. The Bible does not.
Let's
tell
talk
you
about getting drunk.
Getting drunk.
Let's focus on the getting drunk aspect.
All right.
So what? Okay, there's two aspects of getting drunk. Going out to intentionally get drunk, meaning you got an addiction to the alcohol.
No one said you got an addiction, but if you go out, you're trying to get lit.
Like me yesterday.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
I don't
right.
think there's an issue.
that's not godly.
Why is it not
I don't think
godly?
that's the issue with that.
Because why are you getting drunk? It says in the Bible you shouldn't get drunk.
What does the Bible? What does the verse say? Exactly, word for word.
Whilst
King James.
Whilst Casey's looking for that, yeah,
Please.
I don't see it. Do you know what? I feel like I'm at the point, yeah, where there's two ways about this thing called Christianity. Yeah, I feel like there's religion, and there's Christianity,
And there's faith, and
there's faith and spirituality. I feel like religion,
not horoscope spirituality.
No.
People don't get that confused.
I think
We ain't
religion.
talking about no goddamn Christmas.
no, I'm talking about that Taurus.
I'm starting
Cancers.
to learn that a lot of stuff that had
What does it say?
Sorry, let's start with Proverbs. Proverbs 20 verse 1. I'm going to put it on the screen.
Go on.
Wine is a mocker, strong drink a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. Next one, Ephesians.
wait.
Yep, Ephesians 5:18. And do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit.
All right. I feel like I'm having a good time.
The Bible doesn't say you can't.
Yeah.
That's why we shouldn't be.
I'm just saying I'm having a good time. I feel like going back to that first one that she said, dude, I feel like the most important thing here is that, like it says, you do not get led astray. Like,
Can I also read another one?
What?
Galatians 5:21.
There we go.
Envy, drunkenness, orgies, and things like these.
Damn, not all
I
these.
know they're in the mix. I warn you, as I warned you before, that those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom
okay,
of God.
so if I'm
Clear instruction and it's New Testament.
wait, if I'm looking at that, yeah, and I'm looking at it saying drunkenness and orgies, these are the extremes.
I believe it's a
it's not
lifestyle.
okay.
It's-
I believe it's like your
That's it.
lifestyle, like
So-
addicts.
That this is what I was
Yeah.
saying though. You're addicted to this stuff.
I'm just telling you what the Bible
So
says.
me having a good time, and like yesterday, I was drunk.
Yes.
I was
fun.
drunk this morning when I went into the office.
Martin, wow.
Yeah, no, I was. I told my colleagues.
Baby murder.
I told my colleagues 'cause I had a very bad
Dance
headache.
away your
Rotted.
sorrow
But,
now.
but I feel like it really.
classic.
I feel like what the Bible's talking about is it being a lifestyle
An addiction.
and an
Yeah,
addiction.
yeah.
Now, I think whether let me not say me, but if someone is whatever doing smoking weed or they're drinking or having a good time, if it is a lifestyle and it's something that you need to depend on for you to live, then it's a problem. If it's just vibes, good times, it's not an issue. Like even in regards to tattoos as well, where in the Bible does it say that I cannot mark my body?
Leviticus.
There you go.
Where does it say that?
It definitely says
Leviticus.
that. I said, what does it say that? Yeah, it
Where?
definitely says that.
Leviticus for sure.
It says the body is the temple of
There's that one, but also
Lord.
it says, okay, hold on there. Just wait.
that's-
Baby
that is
murder.
bad.
Leviticus 19:28 literally translates, and a cutting for the dead you will not make into your flesh, and writing marks you will not make on you. I am the Lord. But everyone always likes to say that because it's Old Testament, it doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But my nigga,
You know what? Yeah, this is this
no,
is the
because-
issue.
no,
but this
because
is the issue.
after-
Do you either take the Bible word for what it says, or do you use what's the word I'm thinking of?
you interpret.
You interpret it.
Okay,
That's the
now,
question.
Let me say one thing. Yes, the Old Testaments, and we got the New Testaments. There are certain things that were done in the Old Testaments that in the New Testaments it then said that this is not the way.
Yeah, but even in the New Testament, it says that your body is a temple.
But it's
So
not.
My body is the
I just
temple
say-
of
can I
God.
say- Can I say one thing? I think this is the issue that we have with a lot of people that are coming against the Christian faith, that they want these type of arguments to be coming up and
Yeah.
people battling over these things.
Yeah.
And this is a point blank period. Yeah, it really just comes down to the fact that don't be confused by all of this arguments that you're seeing here. You know what you can handle. You know what you can do.
yeah, facts.
You know, everyone's life is independent. Your walk with God is independent.
Facts.
You know what you can take. If you know that you need to get drunk every evening to
Have a
cope
good
with your
time.
life and
Yeah.
have a good time and just live, then you know that
That verse is for you.
you're addicted.
Yeah, that verse is for you.
If
Yeah.
you're going out, you're enjoying yourself with your friends, and you know you could get home safe, you know you can live your life normal, and you're not stuck to this. You know you could turn it down when you want to, you could run from it. It says what does it say about fleeing from I can't remember the verse. Look, I don't know the Bible word for word. Allow me, please.
You haven't even said a sentence. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's about fleeing away from sin.
Lord.
I don't know what it says. Anyway, look, really and truly, all I'm saying is that you know the things that you can handle.
Facts.
And if you want to sit here and be debating, should I get a tattoo or not? Because the Bible says that I'm not allowed to get a tattoo, and point blank period, it says it there, and I want to get this tattoo. Then you should go and join those people that are questioning the Christian faith.
Yeah, facts.
I feel like people that are strong in their faith and strong in their walk with God know that they can handle stuff, and they know what's right and what's wrong, and they live by that. Yeah, facts. And it's that simple.
Yeah, facts. Totally agree.
At the end of the day, I feel like, look, you know what? Do just enjoy your life.
Okay.
Enjoy your life.
I don't know about enjoying your life. Exactly. I think it's important I think salvation is personal. Yeah. And you just need to work alongside what you believe is good for you. Enjoying your life. Yeah. Enjoy your life. It means a lot of stuff. It says let go of your inhibitions. I'm not saying that. But one thing I will say, and then we need to move on to the last question, is that exactly like Toby said, you know what works for you. Salvation is personal. And as long as none of these things are an idol to you, and as long as these things don't supersede God and his place in your life, Kenny problem, bruv. Let's move on.
I hear it.
Okay, final question.
Great ending.
Thank you. What are your thoughts on churches that target young people and their unconventional methods? So, for example, Mike Todd, First Love, Smear. Real ones, no. Smear.
Shout on the hand.
Okay, thoughts.
Yeah. Do you know? I feel like when I heard that Mike Todd situation,
scary.
Because I'm not gonna.
Scarier. No.
Damn it. No, it's this one. No, it's that one. No.
Wait.
No. It's this
one. We'll fuck up big time, man.
It's this one for scary hours.
Yeah. There we go. We'll have to chop that.
Yeah, you need to chop that out, Kesi.
Chop that.
Because it'll fuck up big time, man. Big time.
Yeah, that Mike Todd situation, point blank period, was just not
scary.
Right whatsoever. It was so scary. This is COVID.
It's a COVID, my guy.
It's a COVID.
It's a COVID.
The thing is, I'm not gonna lie, Mike Todd was someone that I used to listen to. And
I never have listened to Mike Todd, really.
Yeah, I used to listen. I used to listen to Mike Todd back in the days on podcast.
Yeah, you need to cough.
Don't do it. It's a COVID.
It's a COVID. Close your mouth, man.
The way they did it before, their mouth was all over this.
COVID is in here somewhere.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, sorry. So I used to listen to Mike Todd back in the days.
Yeah, same.
I think when Mike Todd was like first, like he was getting a buzz. Like he was
getting a buzz, but he wasn't like where he is now.
Yeah, and I feel like recently, what I'm seeing from him, after I heard that thing, because it was you that told me that. Smoking a pancake. I think that is disgusting, and I also feel like he's taking advantage.
I think he's taking advantage, but I think that the thing about Mike Todd, before we talk about taking advantage, because that's where First Love is coming in. But the thing about Mike Todd is that he's always been quite unconventional in the way that he does his sermons, and that's what I liked about him is that he gave you a different interpretation about the Bible. The same verse that you've probably read 1,000 times, he will say it in a way, and it's like, damn, I never thought about it like that. And that's what made him amazing. And then somewhere along the line, the need for the gimmicks and the drama, he just kept trying to one up it. Like, what can I do now? So I'm gonna make the whole auditorium rain. I'm gonna be doing all sorts. I'm gonna lock myself in a box. All of these different things, and I felt like that started to
take front row
over the message and over God, and so it became the Mike Todd show instead of a sermon. And that's where I felt like we started to lose the Mike Todd that we had originally seen. And that's the thing with these super churches as well. Like, obviously you can't criticize them, but because of the reach and because of the things that you need to do in order to maintain the expensive buildings that you have and the different things, it has to become a business. It cannot be just this, what a church is supposed to be, which is a community, a church, a charity, a charitable type of thing. You
can't have a business without it going.
You can't. You have to, because you cannot have something that is huge without trying to scale. It has to be scalable, and to be scalable, you need marketing, you need promo. Obviously, the way that smaller churches work, like my dad's church is quite small. The way that he will sustain himself, because he cannot live off bread alone. Yeah, he cannot live off bread alone, and definitely not off like the tithes of like 12, 15 people. So you have to write books, you have to sell books, you have to find another way to make the church stay afloat, to pay the rent for the building. And for churches, super churches, to cover all of the expenses and all of the different things they have to do, and the rain and the salaries and all of that stuff, and the salaries and stuff like that, you have to be doing
It has to be a business.
Crazy things. It has to be a business, and that's not the way that God wants it. Like
No,
there's
exactly.
there's obviously that passage in the Bible where Jesus runs out all the traders in the church, and he says that this place has become a house of thieves. And bruv, it's without sounding like I'm preaching, because that's what it sounds like I'm doing a little bit.
No, I get you though.
It becomes this thing where it's less about God every day with some of these churches, and I'm not here for it.
But what I will say, yeah, a church is classified as a charity. And
It's supposed to be.
But wait,
charity is different. It's classified different from a private company.
But a charity is still a business,
It's
regardless.
not for profit. It's not for profit.
But is it a business?
I think the idea of profit is.
But is it a business?
No, it's a
No,
charity.
It's a charity.
But what?
No, it's not classed as a
Categorically, it's a
business.
charity.
But categorically, okay. But
It's not classed as a business
but
at all.
wait, a charity still makes money. Yes, listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Still makes money for them to cover what X and Y in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah?
a business needs profit, and a charity doesn't make profit.
A charity is still a business.
No.
Is it okay?
It's different.
So let me answer this question.
Whatever's
quickly.
coming in is going out.
Of
Yeah.
course, but it's
There's
still a business.
There's no need for you to have to scale
'Cause
up
they
unless
break
you want.
even.
Unless you want to do more. There's no need for you to have to scale up in a charity.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
What?
Is a charity in company house?
No,
it's actually
they're
got a
not.
separate
They've only
website,
got their
actually.
separate business.
Got a
They've got a
separate website.
charity commission.
Yeah.
What the point that you're making is not valid.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not valid. Let it go.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's over.
Anyway, so what I was trying to say here is that do you blame them, these mega churches, do you blame them for doing this if this is what it takes
Yes.
in this
More
day and
people.
age?
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
because a mega church for me, I believe, is always rooted in greed. Do not need a mega church.
I think the idea of I want to reach more
I
people
hear it.
for me does not.
It's not necessarily about reaching more people.
No, but this is what they always use. This is what they say. I need to reach more people.
But the thing is, it's not my problem is not their quest to reach more people. It is the quest to be the person that has reached all the people. Because what Mike Todd could easily do is have 15 churches, 20 churches, fund smaller churches that are in the same area, and they'll all be able to spread it. Instead of you being Mike Todd trying to bring in 20,000 people for your auditorium, you could easily spread out the resources in a way that means that it's easier and it requires less from you to be doing all the hoopla. But everybody wants to be the person that is the person.
That's actually
But
funny,
does
'cause
that work though? Because that's what SPAC Nation are doing.
But this is the issue.
No, it's not. And
No,
let's
it's not.
not bring out SPAC Nation
I feel like
here.
this is the thing that I've thought about a few times because even in our area, yeah, there's loads of churches in our area, and it's like everyone wants to be the main person that is
Yeah.
within the area. And I've always just thought, like, why don't you just all come
together.
together? Because you got all these small churches around, but
Yeah.
if you all come together, then you just have one congregation.
Yeah,
It is the
but no
idea
one-
of
no one
I
wants
want
to be
the
under
person.
someone.
I
Yeah.
want to be the person that brings all these people here.
Yeah.
And that's the issue.
I just feel like with a mega church, it requires so much for it to just be one head. So if it is a thing where you've got 10 pastors that come together to do one big church, then yeah, there's no problem there.
Yeah.
But when you've got Mike Todd, head, KICC,
Yeah.
Matthew Ashimolowo, when
Yeah.
you've got MFM, you've got all these people that are just like one singular person running all these different things. Granted, they all have their different branches, and I don't really want to speak on something that I don't really know too much about, but mega churches, and the problem with mega churches is the scalability, what is required from you to do that, and it does end up being all about the profit. Why are all these mega church pastors millionaires and billionaires? Why?
Yeah, that's
Why
mad.
if there's not a level of greed and profit in there?
Sure.
That doesn't make any sense.
I hear it.
So yeah, but we've spoken about the mega churches side, but I want to talk about those that take advantage. And I know we don't have that much time. Jesus
Yeah, we're
Christ.
gonna have to break this down.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to. But what do you guys think about like churches that specifically target young people like First Love?
I feel like, yep, they're definitely taking advantage, and it's because we're in a generation where we just like we just go. We just
And we can put SPAC in there as
We're
well.
very impressionable.
Oh, SPAC Nation, yeah, that one is a bit different. They actually no, yes, they're taking advantage and they're enticing people by gold and all these type of by the flashy lifestyle. That's how I'm seeing it at the moment, and I feel like they really, really do take advantage of the younger generation because of that. LV, you know, Pastor Tobi,
You know what they're doing.
yes,
Yeah.
the
Yes,
flashy
but
lifestyle is
it's-
what is in right now.
We're not even gonna sugarcoat. You know that what you're doing because really and truly, when you're at the top of the stage, you're shouting drippy, 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 and everyone's got their Louis Vuitton. And I know people say that's only one situation, but come on, we've seen it a billion and one times. We're not saying that you can't have nice things, but when you're putting this as your marketing campaign of look at all the people that come here. If you come here, you can have the same thing. that is the wrong message.
Absolutely.
To
You're now a marketing agency.
And my thing is who they market as well.
Yeah.
They are specifically, SPAC Nation used to go into popular McDonald's. So we're talking like Brixton McDonald's, Mitcham McDonald's, where they know young kids will be, and they go and target them and say, you should join this church. Let me take your number and I'll call you and make sure that you come on Sunday. And when they come on Sunday, then there's obviously the talk about money and stuff like that. But I'm specifically talking about people that go out of their way to find vulnerable, impressionable people and bring them to their church. And I appreciate what First Love is doing, and I don't really want to talk too much about it because quite a few people that I know go there, and that's fine. But First Love and the way that they went about things were very similar
what SPAC did.
To what SPAC was doing. And the way in which, for me, I wasn't really here for it. I wasn't really here for the way that they did their teaching. Like, they changed the way that they say the grace. They do a song and dance of it. Literally, there's like a dance that goes with the grace. I don't like all of that stuff. Like, that's just not for me. Yeah. And I feel like if you need to do all of that to God's word to get people to stay, you can miss me with that.
Because really and truly, you were okay in when you're going to church with your parents, even though you're going to church with your parents. I mean, I've grown up in a church that my mum's pretty much been in most of her life.
Yeah.
So it's never really been an issue for me. But I don't like talking on First Love as much because I don't know much about it. All I know is that what I've seen from the people that I've approached that come from First Love, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of scary.
Wait, is that the same
giving
people
Jehovah's Witness.
remember that time when we were in Lakes at that time?
Yeah, same people. Yeah,
no, they're too wild, man.
It's not that they're too wild. I don't know. It just feels very weird for me personally.
Their approach is very Jehovah's Witness. I'm on your case. I'm on your back. I'm not going to stop until I make you mine.
I feel like I'm not too sure what it is, because I've been on when I went to uni in Hertfordshire, there were Mormons on the road, and they used to stop us. And it's like every time I see someone on the road that wants to come and talk to me about God, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. Yeah, I just always felt that everyone that came from First Love for me, it just felt like you were. Like, it just felt like it wasn't you. You just felt like you were just like
reading a script and just
brainwashed.
Yeah, without me, I don't want to be that rude because I don't know much about it. But everyone for me, just felt like a carbon copy of each other, and it just felt a bit too weird for me. Like I don't feel like I can have a conversation with you about God because I feel like you're just reading from a script or you're just reading whatever someone else has taught you, or whatever someone said to you. I feel like you're supposed to go to church, read the word, read the Bible, and then be able to come up with your own understanding of God with the Holy Spirit's help. I don't think you should be sitting there with a manual of this is what you're supposed to be doing, this is what you're supposed to say, because you all just like a carbon copy of each other, and it really is scary, personally.
All right, guys, we need to go. It's 1 minute. It's 1 hour 40.
We do need to go.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a very heavy conversation. I knew it was going to be like this. I actually knew it. I said it was going to be too long.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Lord, indeed. All right, guys, this is it. Okay, next week we're going to be on episode 100. So say goodbye to double digit DBTH. Okay,
man.
We are done with. I think this is a nice way to close off our 90s.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much for tuning in. For real, if you got here to the end, you are a real one. We appreciate you truly. Now let's close off. You can follow us on Instagram at DBTHPodcast. Road to 500 still well and truly in existence. Okay, once we hit 500 followers, giveaway dead. So make sure you are following us if you're not already. You can find us on Twitter at DBTHPodcast. No, DBTH_podcast. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, or you can watch us on YouTube by searching DBTH Podcast. And I think that brings us to the end. MBT, any other business?
This is episode 99, and we're DBTH.
And we are out.
I got 99 problems,
and the podcast ain't one. Hit me! Bye!